So I have been inspired to do sort of a study of our sharing around the opening verses, starting with the four thoughts that turn the mind to the Dharma, so that it will go on for a while, and just wanting to feel into what these verses are meaning to all of us. And um, I'm starting with the four thoughts. It was one of the first verses I learned a long time ago when I was first working with Cynthia. And she was teaching the Green Tara sadhana, and that this was an opening verse. And I memorized it, and it has been truly a way that has brought me back to the Dharma over and over again in times when I felt confused or depressed or unable to sleep or whatever. I have turned to this. And when I first learned the four thoughts, it began with the phrase, perfection of wisdom, mother of Buddhas, and union of refuges. I pray to you from the bottom of my heart. And that phrase hasn't been on there for a while. And yet we do use part of it in calling on Mother Earth. So anyway, I wanted to start with that phrase because it has meant so much to me. And I feel like, for a long time, I didn't really study what perfection of wisdom, mother of Buddhas meant by any teaching. I just tuned into it. And it was a powerful inner teacher for me as I tuned into this living reality that carries us in a way that holds our suffering with compassion and leads out of despair. So anyway, I just this week was really studying some of Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings on it. So that is what I will be sharing with you, starting with the perfection of wisdom. And Thich Nhat Hanh taught that the perfection of wisdom, which is Prajnaparamita, is the liberating experiential understanding of emptiness. That the nature of reality is empty of inherent self-existence. And so this calling on the perfection of wisdom actually takes us to the teachings that many of us studied years ago when we went through the book of The Other Shore. The wisdom of all phenomena being interconnected and dependent on each other for their existence is revealed to us through our mindfulness practice. So it's not a belief system, it's a revelation. And nothing exists separately. And as Thich Nhat Hanh always taught, a sheet of paper contains clouds, sunshine, trees, loggers, and all the conditions that brought the piece of paper into our life. And to experience this is to touch the nature of reality beyond dualistic thinking of like self and other, birth and death, being and not being. And drawing on the Heart Sutra, Thai translated sunyata, which means emptiness. Oops, just flipped my paper. Which translates, let's see, as the ground from which insight arises. Okay, I'm sorry, I mixed up here a bit. Let me take a minute. So he translated sunyata, emptiness, as empty of separate self, but full of everything. The perfection of wisdom is not the annihilation of self, but a deep revelation of interconnection. And I think this is just so important in our times that we really take time to meditate on this and align with it. And Thich emphasized that understanding emptiness helps dissolve fear, attachment, and discrimination, freeing us to love within creation without boundaries, which is a pretty amazing statement, freeing us to love without boundaries. And Thich Nhat Hanh called mindfulness the energy of the Buddha, the ground from which insight arises. So developing awareness within the present moment is the foundation of perceiving the perfection of wisdom, which is not separate from our ordinary earthly life. And everything that we do, from getting up in the morning to brushing our teeth, to having a cup of tea, walking, breathing, cracking an egg, all reveal insight when practiced deeply. And Thich saw that wisdom, prajna, and compassion, karuna, are a single perfection, not two. That true wisdom always generates compassion, and compassion reveals true wisdom. And he often said, understanding is love's true name. And in the Heart Sutra, the naming that there is nothing to attain is central. Perfection of wisdom is not about achieving a distant goal, but recognizing what is already here. So letting go of striving and fear and notions of attainment is itself wisdom. Practicing the path of wisdom involves making choices and engaging in intentional actions. Engaged Buddhism finds ways to facilitate peace, reconciliation, and protection for Earth. And Thich would say, peace in every step. To live each step in mindfulness and compassion is already walking the path of the perfection of wisdom. And speaking to Mother of Buddhas, Thich Nhat Hanh explained the concept of the Mother of Buddhas not as a literal maternal figure, but as Prajnaparamita, the perfection of wisdom, a spiritual force that gives birth to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Prajnaparamita's wisdom helps beings transition from delusion to clarity and achieve a spiritual awakening. And Thich taught that this mother is an interdependent cosmic reality exemplified by Earth. By recognizing the interdependent nature of reality and embracing Prajnaparamita, one realizes their own capacity to be a birth giver, to awakened qualities within themselves and in others. And through practicing wisdom and compassion, all individuals can experience this profound unifying realization and give birth to their own awakened nature. And speaking to the union of refuges, the union of refuges is the realization that the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha are one body of refuge, not three separate shelters. Thich spoke about taking refuge in the Buddha is not only taking shelter in a historical teacher, but is a recognition of our own capacity for awakening. And in its living form, the Dharma is the way of understanding and practice that transforms suffering. When we walk mindfully and speak truthfully and breathe deeply, we embody the Dharma here and now. To take refuge in the Sangha is to recognize our need for community and interbeing. The Sangha nurtures the Buddha and Dharma in us, and our presence strengthens the Sangha. And I realize that our practice of deep listening and mindful speaking during our Dharma discussions at the end of each mindfulness session is a key way in which our presence strengthens the Sangha and nurtures the Buddha and Dharma within each of us.